My name is Eunice, and today we are talking about money again. So, we have been spending a couple days talking about money, about manifestation, about manifesting money and money limiting beliefs. And I want to kind of continue this conversation because there's actually so much substance here that I want to bring forth to the conversation about money. So today we're investigating the reason why you're not able to keep money around. So for those of you who have manifested some types of money into your life and you feel like, it's just kind of a recurring pattern where you're not able to keep money around, like whenever you have it, you end up losing it. Whenever you have it, you spend it. And there's just this sense of like, oh, like I don't know why it doesn't stay in my world. It always seems like I have bills to pay, and it always seems like I'm never just able to keep it around. I'm never able to like accumulate anything. So we're going to investigate that because it's not just about the math of it. It's about the psychology. It's about the energy behind in which you have the relationship with money, so that when you redefine that relationship and when you shift that energy around money and you treat it differently, I realized that it can turn your entire money story around. And at first, it could start, you know, showing up little by little. But once you start seeing money as a different, um, sort of a different entity, like when you start seeing money and have a different relationship with it, you're able to start building upon the wealth that you have, no matter how little it is, no matter if you have debts, no matter in what ways of form it comes into your life, you're able to start building upon it. And so I really hope that, my intention for this video is for you to start establishing, the feeling of safety with money, and also, you know, um, being able to build upon the things that you have worked hard for and the abundance that have showed up in your life. So if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel. So I'm going to be covering the 5 reasons. And if you have any other, reasons that you can think of, please feel free to share that in the comments as well. I would love to have this discussion with you. Um, and yeah, without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So, the number one reason that money is not staying in your world, and every time money comes in, it goes away, is because you've been using money to solve problems, and you see money as the tool in which you solve problems. Now, this can happen for a lot of people, and actually, money is a very effective tool to help you solve problems. If you don't have time, if you don't already have the relationships, if you need some kind of help, if you want to outsource something, if you want to buy a service, like money can be such a great tool to help you solve problems. But the context in which I'm talking about here today is you start seeing money as the sole solution, the only solution for you to solve problems. Now, what's the problem here? When we see money as the sole solution, the only solution to solve all of our problems, we start bypassing other options to solve our problems or to work things out. And when that happens, when we're bypassing other options, it means that we're shortcutting our minds, we're shortcutting our perspective to say, okay, whenever I have a problem or whenever I don't know something, I'm just going to use money to solve that problem. When I get into trouble, I'm just going to use money to solve that problem. When I don't have time, I'm just gonna hire someone. Really, instead of looking into the problem itself and finding other resources to try to work it out, to seek towards, maybe the other kinds of abundance that you have built in your life. Maybe you can use your time to do something. Maybe you can reorganize your time so that you actually have more time instead of having to use that money to solve the problems that you currently have in your life. But when we see money as the sole solution to all of our problems, then it's the first thing that we will go to, right? And having said that, we create a lot of problems in our head. So, for example, if we're having a um, misunderstanding between a couple, instead of really sitting down and working it out and talking about the problem in our relationships, maybe one person says, I'm just going to move out. I'm just going to, I'm just going to go to a hotel for a couple of nights, and I'm just going to like avoid the problem altogether. But, money, yes, money can do that for you and money can buy you that freedom. But at the same time, we're bypassing the opportunity to work out things in our lives such that we're using money as a kind of as a crutch. So, first of all, it's to really not use money in that way, because when we use money to solve all of our problems, in a sense, we're abusing the the purpose of money. We're abusing what money can do for us. Instead of, seeing as a form of abundance, we're seeing it as the answer to all of our problems. And that really is not the case. The other thing is, when we create a lot of problems in our head, and at the same time when we use money to solve problems, that can also be the reason why money is not staying for you as well. So, for example, if I think that there's got to be something wrong with my business, and there's got to be something that's not working, and I've totally constructed this in my head, and I've imagined that things are not where they're supposed to be, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm not resourceful in my own resources, in my own being. And so it must mean that I must spend money to solve this problem. And it must mean that this is a problem that I need to address right now. Now, a lot of times with the problems that we create in our heads, we're not able to see through the problem. We're not able to like we kind of we kind of think ourselves into a knot such that the thing itself becomes a problem. And then with the money that we have, we're like, oh, look, we have all this money. I'm just going to use this money to solve my problem. When actually, a lot of problems are actually thought up in our heads in the first place. So, really think about if there are some things in your life where you feel like, oh, I just need this extra thing. I just need this extra like qualification. Um, I need this extra support. I need this extra a time in my life, right? I need to get there sooner, or things are just not good enough, right? So are there some things in your life or some areas in your life where you feel like actually it's maybe it's not even really that much of a problem, but you've thought yourself into a knot such that you feel so much struggle and tension in that thing that you can't not see money as the option to help you solve that problem which you've created in the first place. So that is reason number one why money is not sticking around. And that is actually such a big leak, because our minds can play so many tricks on us, and it can create so many scenarios, and it could create so much drama in our head such that we feel like, oh my gosh, everything is a problem and everything needs to be solved, and everything, like, money is the answer. Right? Okay, so reason number two is that, and if you see me looking this way, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So you're spending more time saving money and looking for deals and better ways to spend your money rather than actually making the money. So a lot of us, when we are in this place where we feel like, okay, I could definitely use more abundance, and I could definitely have more money flowing into my life, and it's not quite enough. A lot of times we try to scrimp and save and like try to cut corners with how we spend money. And what happens, and I think, being able to get a good discount, being able to find a good deal, it's an amazing and incredible feeling. Like, I love good deals. Tell me a person who doesn't love good deals. But When we are spending more of our time and energy and effort to try to find this, to try to save this money, instead of creating more wealth and summoning more wealth out of, just from our energy, out of our abilities, out of our creativity, then it means that money is actually leaving us faster. Because with the time that we have, with the energy that we have, instead of spending it towards ourselves, of our well being, instead of using it to create and generate more money out of thin air, we're using it to scrimp and save and trying to just like conserve. So there is this concept of trying to conserve resources versus trying to make more. Because when we're in a conservation mode, what we're really trying to do is protect ourselves from losing more. What we're really doing is like operating in a lack mindset because there isn't more coming in, right? Like what we're thinking to ourselves is, if there isn't more coming in, and I'm pretty sure there isn't more coming in, and I'm pretty sure that I can't make more, and I'm pretty sure I can't receive more, then I'm going to spend all the rest of my time trying to save money. And so there's a lot of energy and time being spent in that area, in that direction. So if you ever come across a good deal, uh, an amazing discount, a coupon, like that is amazing. Use it to your advantage. It can definitely help you save money and conserve your resources. But don't get into the mentality where you feel like I need to spend more energy in doing that and pursuing that instead of directing your energy towards achieving more abundance in your life. So, reason number 3 is you believe that being committed in yourself has to mean that you're spending every last dollar and dime on yourself. So there's this belief, and this happened for me, at some point as well, was that I felt like I needed to prove that I was committed in myself. I was committed in my growth. I was committed in my business. I was committed in bettering myself. That, when people say you have to go all in, it's that all in mentality that makes you feel like, okay, well, in order to prove to myself that I am really committed, it must mean that I have to spend every last drop in my bank account. And my friends, I'm going to tell you that that is not true. First of all, you don't have anything to prove to yourself. You don't have anything to prove to other people. You don't need anybody else to guilt you and make you feel ashamed for not spending every last dollar on yourself. Your commitment is commitment enough to know that whatever you're pursuing with the right intentions, with the right speed, with the right mindset. And you don't have to, for the sake of proving to yourself that you're committed, and for the sake of going all in, spending every single dollar in your bank account, or even worse yet, going into huge debt that you feel like it's almost just suffocating, like you don't even know what to think anymore. Because there's this belief that this hustle mentality, this invest in yourself mentality, where people believe that I need to go by going all in on myself. That is my form of self-love. That is my form of, knowing my worth. But the truth is, it's got to be sustainable. And if it's not sustainable, then you cannot really do it for very long, and you're going to deplete your resources. And that usually is how money leaves you. When you spend on yourself a lot faster than the money can come back, this is where you're going to be left feeling like, I don't know where all of my money has gone, and I don't know when it's going to come back. And I feel really insecure right now. I feel really unsafe right now because I've spent all of my resources bettering myself, but it's not manifesting into physical, tangible forms of dollars and cash yet. So that is definitely something that you want to be watching out for. So, reason number four is that, oh my gosh, guys, this is such a huge thing. What I'm about to share with you, um, I believe that a lot of people experience this with money. It's an energetic dynamic, and I really want you to hear this very carefully. I want you to hear this with your body. So, one of the very big reasons why you literally push money away after it's come into your world is that you don't feel safe to be stable with money, right? You don't feel safe to be stable with money. So what do I mean by that? There's a dynamic and a relationship you have built with money that is essentially is a pattern in your life. And if you're so used to feeling lots of adrenaline, um, I don't know why it's so itchy. If you're used to feeling so much adrenaline, so much extreme highs and extreme lows, and feeling like, you're just so used to feeling the rush with money, like lots of money coming into your bank account, and then you lose it all, and then you gain all of it back again, and then you spend it all, and then you receive a huge gift, and then you give it all, or you use all of it to pay your bills, for example. And when you're so used to having this pattern, you keep being jolted from up to down and up to down and up to down, to a point where you're like, wait, I don't know why I am in this pattern for a very long time. And I'm not sure why it has to be this way. But there's this feeling of instability. So ask yourself, is there this feeling of instability in my life and in my relationship with money, such that I feel like, as soon as I get all of it, I have to lose all of it. As soon as I gain all of it, I have to give all of it. And it's a cycle, right? It's a cycle where you can't really be anywhere in between. You either find yourself on super high or super low months, and you're just kind of like addicted, unconsciously addicted to the adrenaline and the risk of having lots of money and having, almost no money at all. So it's this feeling of instability, and this is something that you can feel into your body, and also it's a pattern that you get to observe in your life, such that as soon as you see it, you can know what to do about it. You can stop engaging in, risky investments. You can stop giving away all of your money, or you can stop spending it all at the same time, or on huge purchases or huge investments. And at the same time, you want to be able to develop this feeling of safety, of holding money, the feeling of like, I feel stable to just see a certain amount in my bank account without the feeling of I have to spend it all right now. I need something, I need to fix something, I need to do something about it. There's money in my bank account, I've got to do something about it. I've got to spend it. I've got to put it somewhere, right? And to really just feel this calmness with your money, like seeing that dollar amount in your bank account, um, having a regulated nervous system with your money is going to do so much for you. So, reason number five, and the last one that we're going to talk about today, is that on a very deep level, and I know that so many people experience this to a certain extent, because I felt it in my nervous system, and I felt this in my body, is this deep sense of unworthiness. And when this unworthiness translates to um, a lack in, you know, um, a lack in my identity, a lack in qualifications, a lack in experience, a lot of times we'll end up spending money to buy our worth. Whether if it's trying to prove ourselves that we're doing a lot better than we actually are, or to show ourselves that, we look better, we look more presentable, we look more, you know, XYZ, like, fill in the blank. It's all to fill the sense of unworthiness so that we don't actually have to address what we're feeling on the inside. But deep down, that unworthiness, even when it's filled with material substances and recognition and acknowledgement from the outer world, even when we can buy all those things from the outside, and when we can buy, people's recognition towards us, that sense of unworthiness, in the end of the day, it's still going to be there when you're going to take it to bed, you're going to take it to um, your own place in your heart where it's still not addressed and you know that it is still there. So the feeling of unworthiness is something that, it cannot be covered by money. It cannot be covered by substances, by, buying more um, education or experience or qualifications or appearances or lifestyle. Like nothing's going to fill that gap for you. So what we can do is from the inside, we have got to find our own worth. We have got to identify who we are and start developing this relationship with ourselves such that we know that we are worthy in our core, and so that we don't have to use money, we don't have to abuse money, we don't have to make money as the tool to fulfill that gap. We don't feel worthy, we don't feel satisfied about. So these are the 5 reasons that you probably have not been able to keep money in your life. And if there's anything else that you want to share, um, of these reasons, like why people aren't able to keep money, please feel free to share that with me in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And I think in the end of the day, this is really about knowing your patterns with money and becoming aware of, like, what is your relationship and your dynamic with spending and saving and handling the flow of money in your life. Because once we're able to identify and acknowledge, oh my gosh, like, this is how I have been treating money, and this is the current pattern that's been, like, repeating in my life, I'm able to better address it. I'm able to nip it at the bud. When I see it happening next time, I don't have to repeat my old money patterns, such that I'm able to build a new financial reality for myself. So I hope that this was helpful for your understanding and for, your pursuit of experiencing true abundance in your life. And I want to say thank you so much for those of you who are here. Thank you for being here on this video. I love you all, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Ciao.